Football is awesome coming to you this week as we face now week number 13, I believe, in the NFL. How you guys doing? I'm the host, Earnest and Zack. And today's episode, I mentioned the NFL, but I got to tell you real quick, and people might, I'm sure going to agree with this, though. The last 72 to 96 hours, the last 4 days, you got baseball playoffs going on. Obviously, NFL is starting what I call the pennant time of the season. Now the playoff run, closing on the playoffs. Obviously, NBA is kicking, but the last 4 days, I have to say that college football has dominated the headlines. College football has been just from Saturday on. You had the big games between Michigan and Ohio State. It was obviously rivalry week. I'm a Florida State fan, so obviously Florida State, Florida didn't mean anything, but it's still a game. By the way, Florida State still lost anyway. Oh well, but it's what it is. But you had obviously Michigan finally getting over the hump. Jim Harbaugh finally getting the monkey off his back, beating Ohio State for the first time in his Michigan tenure, 6 years in. Which meant a lot too, especially because it definitely impacts the college playoff picture. And of course, you have all the major headlines with coaches going places. We'll get there in a second. Let's start here first. The college playoff rankings just came out for this week. This is the last rankings we're going to have before the final rankings, which it will be rankings when we find out the next time we find out on Sunday rather, and we'll find out who the playoff 4 is. Right now, this week, we have, of course, number 1, Georgia, going to run away. 2, Michigan. 3, Alabama. Surprisingly, a lot of people surprised Alabama number 3. Despite struggling against Auburn, in that 4 overtime, win. Number 4, Cincinnati. Then around the 5 and 6 here. 5 is Oklahoma State. Will be Oklahoma as well. And number 6, Notre Dame. So, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm still a little fearful, even though I'm in the top 4 again for the second weekend around, because there's still that possibility that if Oklahoma State wins their Big 12 game, that they can sneak in. It's possible that if they win the Big 12 title, that no matter what Cincy does, they can still sneak in. And hell, who knows if Baylor has a chance if they beat Oklahoma State in the Big 12 title game. I doubt it'll happen. Cincinnati, as I said for the last couple weeks, has continued doing its job. It's winning big, and everything, hopefully for their sake, works around them. Alabama, if they beat Georgia, they should obviously make the playoff 4. If they lose to Georgia by a little, maybe they still make the playoff 4. I don't know. If I'm Georgia, though, and you're playing an SEC title game, you don't want to see Alabama twice. Let's put it that way. So if I'm Georgia, I'm looking not just to beat Alabama, I'm looking to put them out of the misery. So my goal, if I'm Georgia, is to make sure Alabama has no shot, because they've looked shoddy most of the year. Obviously 11-1, but a lot of their wins, the Florida win doesn't look good anymore, because Florida was a 500 team this year. Auburn was underwhelming this year. A lot of wins against teams that, at the end of the day, didn't look as good as we thought they were going to be. So if Alabama gets the doors blown off them in Atlanta this week, and Georgia does this job, which I think is a motivation to do that, because you don't want to have to face Alabama twice at some point. I think it's a motivation for Georgia to do this and to blow them out the water. So if they do that, I think Bama's done. Michigan should be Iowa. Iowa's kind of weird, but they can always steal a game here or there. But I think Michigan, hopefully, they didn't put all their eggs in the basket against Ohio State, but they should take care of business, hopefully. And of course, Cincinnati did do his job. Cincinnati continues to win all their games, win in consistent fashion. They should be okay. So, but there's always a fear that the committee doesn't like Cincy, and that because they didn't move up in the rankings this week, that is still a little bit of fear. Notre Dame might long shot to get in, and now they don't have a head coach because Brian Kelly is now going to LSU. Oklahoma State, like I said, has a chance to, if they impress Baylor and maybe some things happen, they could bump in there. So it's gonna be a fascinating weekend. It's been a very good, very entertaining college football season in general. Lots of upsets. Remember we started. The only consistent thing right now this year is that Georgia's has been the best team from pillar to post so far. So we'll see how this weekend goes as conference championship weekends here, and then of course next Sunday we'll have the committee officially announce its playoff four. Maybe we'll do an emergency podcast right around the time it happens. We'll see. Maybe do a reaction podcast with some of the guys here on this podcast. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Lincoln Riley also going to Oklahoma USC. I just mentioned Brian Kelly going from Notre Dame to LSU. That one's more of a shocker. Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma, not so much a shocker, because we've heard rumors for the last couple of years that it's possible he can get jobs. I remember when the Dallas Cowboys job opened up 2 years ago, there was a possibility that his name is in the hat. It's always been his name's always been rumored to go to the pros, to other college programs, all that. I mean, USC, it was only a shot because it just kind of came out of nowhere. There was no rumors. It just kind of came out of nowhere. The LSU thing with Brian Kelly, however, is a shock because, he even said before, like as far as last week, that, I'm not interested in leaving Notre Dame unless you, like Mike Tomlin said, months ago, unless you make me a $250 million offer to go and I have to take my wife and all that. Well, it took 10 years and $95 million just to get out of Notre Dame. And something tells me that Brian Kelly does up and lean like this means there's probably some more internal things that we don't know about in that situation between him and Notre Dame brass. That's my opinion. That's just things that we're not privy to. I'm certain there's some things there that happened that we don't know about. But Brian Kelly is the most successful coach in Notre Dame history, and that's with not winning a national championship. Because he did it and he was competitive for most of the 12 years he was here. But we'll see how Notre Dame recovers. Obviously, big move for LSU. I think USC, especially getting Lincoln Riley, is a big move. It's a desperation move. I mean, look, not only did they pay top dollar to get him, they paid off his houses. They also bought him a new house in L.A. So it's a lot going on there. But USC is desperate. They haven't been relevant on the national specter in the way that you would think they would be in about 15, 16 years. So they're desperate. And the good thing for the USC, too, is the bar's low. I mean, right now, your only goal is to just be better than Oregon. Oregon, they're great. They're good, but, as you saw this year, they when it came time to, crunch time, they didn't get the job done. So, anyway, let's see what else here. Before we get in this call, before we get to, of course, Mikey B with our power rankings and Kyle with the student game report, as well as Zach on the back end of the show with the picks of the week, which I won again this week for the record. There is really, in my opinion, no front-running, clear-cut MVP favorite. Now, I can give you 3 or 4 guys who I think are in the mix. I can tell you Lamar Jackson, as I thought was the clear-cut favorite going into this week. I can tell you Dak Prescott. I can tell you Tom Brady's still in the mix. Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, also in Indy. Derrick Henry wasn't in the race until he got hurt. But after Lamar Jackson's performance against the Browns, in a win, but future performance against the Browns, he's taking a little bit step back in the race. So there really is no clear-cut favorite now for MVP. We'll see how these next couple weeks go, obviously. But it's a fascinating year. Just like college football. NFL, fascinating year. AFC, wide open. There's no clear tier 1 in the AFC yet. NFC, a little more defined. Packers, Cardinals, tier 1 in my opinion. Maybe the Bucks. We'll see. But as I always say, Thanksgiving is normally that now it's time to get it done. So we'll see. 6 weeks to go in the year. Fascinating year ahead of us, and fascinating 6 weeks ahead of us. So let's enjoy it. So here we go. Mikey B with the power rankings. Zach, Kyle, student game report, and of course Zach with our picks of the week. Well, what our picks, I guess, the spread. So enjoy this episode, and thanks for listening. Appreciate it. All right, power rankings time here with Mikey B, the Squid. What's up, bud?
Russell Wilson's blood pressure?
Russell Wilson must be New York Giant, baby. That's all I care about now. Get his ass down to New York. Let's go.
Buddy, if he plays as bad as he did last night, I don't even know if I'd want him in New York.
It's an injury, man. I'm going to blame the injury on that one. This is the first time he's looked this bad. I won't say that.
How can you target fucking DK Metcalf 0 times in the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, dude. Yeah. That's pretty bad. I'm making a modification on my rankings real quick. I'm actually my ranking now. I'm like, you know what? Let me make a quick modification on this one because, yeah, I think I've been too rough on a certain team here. But let's get top 10 real quick. Number 10, you got?
I will take a team that's near and dear to my heart. A 31-point ass whooping of the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals.
Guess what? I got them there too, number 10. Impressive. I tell you, they need that bye week. They come out and they beat 2 playoff contenders.
Yeah, they got a big weekend against the Clippers. If they can go in there and beat Herbert and those guys and reel off 3 big wins in a row, this is a statement for this franchise.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, number 9.
Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I gotta go. That's a nice big win for them against the Saints. They need that win. All the struggle they've been doing. And it's actually a good performance too, especially for them.
I only moved them up 1 spot because of basically everybody in front of them.
Yeah. Number 9 for me is a team that's in free fall right now, but they're barely hanging on. That is the Los Angeles Rams.
Wow.
Matthew Stafford is making me look bad, dude.
Matthew Stafford didn't make you look bad. The fucking inability of Sean McVay to coach this team properly made you look bad.
What's going on? I mean, they've lost the
quality. They got away from what got them there. They're like, oh, let's rely on Matt Stafford more. No, rely on your run game, control the clock. The biggest fucking problem that they've had, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, is why Robert Woods was the game changer of this offense.
I agree.
Him spreading the field, let Cooper Kupp go down and fucking catch 37-yard slant patterns against linebackers. Nobody is afraid of fucking Odell Beckham Jr. and his fucking bright blue hair.
Right. Yeah, you got number 9. Who had number 9 again?
I had the Bills.
Okay. Number 8.
Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bye week, needed it, of course, in a good spot right now with the AFC. Number 8 for me is the now somewhat free-falling team also, too, the Dallas Cowboys.
You're going for the panic button this week.
It's still a top 10 team, but looks some concerns here now. I mean, the week. I mean, shout out boy Big Jim James Neese. Though the minute I start declaring these guys as Super Bowl contenders, they lose 3 or 4 games. It's all my fault, Jim. I know.
Okay, yeah, it's your fault that Amari Cooper got COVID. It's your fault that CeeDee Lamb has a concussion.
Yeah.
It's your fault that they didn't have 2 of the fucking best receivers in the NFL.
I think they'll be fine. I think they'll win the NFC East. I don't know.
Short week against Vegas. Lose your 2 best wide receivers. Zeke gets dinged up in that game, and you got to rely on Tony Pollard and Dak Prescott with Cedric Wilson and Dalton Schultz or Dallas Schultz, whatever the fuck that dude's name is. No, I'm not red alert panic button on this team because I actually have them at 7. I dropped them 2 spots in my rankings, so we can just roll right into my number 7. Bad loss against Vegas, but Vegas is a considerable team that could make the playoffs still.
Yes, correct.
It isn't a loss to, like, the Texans or the Jets or, Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they lost to a team who has a good quarterback, a really good run game, and receivers that can beat you on the outside if you're not ready. Deshaun Jackson of old, running around people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not panic buttoned on Dallas as much because I also didn't have them as high as you did. But I'm also not like free fall mode because they're still going to win that division.
Yeah.
How about them Jaguars? Yeah!
Real quick, can we talk about? Are we sure that Zeke's best running back on that team anymore? No, I'm starting to question that.
Zeke is the best running back on that team, but he will not be the best running back on that team next year.
He'll be gone. Probably. We'll see. Anyway, number 7 for me, Buffalo Bills. Like I said, big win for them. Big game with the Patriots. We'll see a lot. Will impact these rankings heavily, and I'm sure next week. So, we'll see what happens there. Number 6, you got
Mac who? Mac Jones. Doing the Patriots.
Ooh, I like that. Is it fair to call them Super Bowl contenders, or are we still waiting for that?
No, it's too early for that, but that defense is playing out of its fucking mind.
I made some adjustments to my rankings last minute because I felt good about last night, and I was like, wait a second, let me look at this more broadly. So number 6, they went down the rankings a little bit just because of what happened this week. They didn't play this week, though, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs went down my rankings a little bit this week. I gotta get some love to Baltimore and New England this week. I got to. At some point, just got to. So anyway, number 5.
up a spot, but if they don't figure it the fuck out real quick, they're going to lose the division to the Bengals. I'll take the Baltimore Ravens at 5.
But again, these are the things I was worried about this team in the first place. Like, all the injuries can sustain. To their credit, they're sustaining it. I mean, it's not pretty, but they're sustaining it. They're doing their job. They're 8-3. 8-3, yeah.
If they play a team whose offense isn't in shambles like the fucking Cleveland Browns is, they lose that game by 30.
Probably. Yeah, I'm with you. 5 for me, the Patriots. Yeah. Big game this week. Like I said with that. This will be the week where I really buy into this Pats team as a Super Bowl contender or not, if they beat Buffalo.
If that defense shows up and stuffs Josh Allen and those guys, like, yeah, that's a team that's fucking to worry about. Because even if Mac Jones just becomes a serviceable quarterback in January and February, that defense is next level.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Number 4. Who you got?
I'm not in panic mode on as much on this team as you are because the defense is going to get it together. And the offense, once they can get Odell involved more, to probably take over that Robert Woods role and Van Jefferson stepping up more, I'm going to take the LA Rams.
I get it. They have the talent to turn around, obviously, and I do suspect they will do it.
They need to put the ball in Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel's hands. Let those guys run the ball as much as they can, and let Stafford throw the ball 30 to 35 times a game, not 40 to 45 times a game.
Right. Number 4 for me, like I said, the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, it has been pretty, but look, best record in the conference right now. Gotta give them credit. I mean, what they're doing is amazing. Although, while I was Lamar Jackson MVP, after this week, I'm not sure if he's a clear-cut favorite. He might be still a favorite, but not a clear-cut favorite now.
Yeah, we are. I'm good on taking him off of the clear-cut favorite role. I think that belongs to one Jonathan Taylor Thomas of the Indianapolis Colts.
Right. With you there. All right, number 3. Who you got?
Give me TFB and the reigning champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I got the feeling all 3 are going to be the same exact one. So number 3, Bucks as well too. Not pretty. They probably should have lost that game against Indy, but just win, baby, just win.
Playoff Lenny doing playoff Lenny things.
Right. All that matters. Just win, baby.
Hit the ball as much as you can. Get what you can get from him.
Yep.
If he's going to run through guys like he did this week, next week against Atlanta, run the ball 50 times a game. Tommy doesn't need to go out there and throw the ball 150 times a week for this team to win.
I agree. Number 2.
Give me Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Yep. All 3 is going to be the same exact one. Cause I number 2, the Packers as well, too. Big win. They had some quality wins here, too. They beat both the Cardinals and now the Rams. So they found the quality wins up now on top of that.
Ugly win.
Yeah, a little ugly. But
that game for both teams was ugly.
But we're not.
You were just like, what the fuck are they doing out there?
Yeah. But we're also now near December now, so we expect these things to happen a little bit. So.
Correct.
That's the number 2 for me as well. The Packers. Number 1 for me, for you. I've seen number 1. You get the Cardinals, right?
Yeah. This is the time where now coming out of the bye week, if Kyler plays and does not keep this team in the race, they're going to be a team in free fall. Here's where we question, is losing J.J. Watt on that defense going to be something that's going to make or break this team?
Fair point. And this week it starts.
Because we were given the excuse for a while of, Colt McCoy has to play quarterback, Kyler Murray's out. He comes back healthy, and that ankle isn't giving him too much problems, and this is like he's playing at 80 to 85%, and they struggle and the defense struggles. The bigger problem will be the loss of J.J. Watt.
Agreed. All right, so get to the set 5, 28 to 32. We got 28, buddy.
JETS suck.
We got a newcomer on 28 for me. We got the Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think they've been here since fucking 2009, 2008. Honestly. Crazy. 29.
Sierra's husband looks very unthrilled to play in Seattle anymore. Get him the fuck out of there.
Jets. So we swapped to 2029. Despite winning this week. Detroit winning this week. 30.
Jaguars.
So do I. Jaguars are 30. 31.
Texans.
So do I. Texans. And, of course, number 32 should be pretty easy.
Lions.
I feel so bad for those guys. They should have beat Chicago on Thursday.
Well, they would have if they would have been smarter with their fucking timeouts.
Well, this is why you're 0-10-1. Oh, 91 fucking regulars now. This is why.
and the fact that they tied the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers makes it even more exciting to me because that means the Steelers are sucking even more.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
I mean, Denny's right. Denny's correct. So, anyway, that's this week's Power Rankings. Of course, follow Mike on Twitter at @NateCallMeBurn. 1/3, well, both of us 2/3 of the Take the Rest of the podcast. We're back this week. Can't wait to get into the booth with you guys.
Yeah, we missed last week's show because we were all so comatose from the food.
Yeah, itis is real, buddy. But we're back this week. We can't wait.
Yeah, hey, get your picks in for the rest of the week stuff for the last couple months that we got.
I'm working on that. I think I finished January finally.
All right, we'll send it over when you're.
All right, buddy.
All right, dude.
Later. Student Game Report with the man Kyle F. Nash. What's up?
Good to be aboard. Hey, we didn't take any weeks off up in this beast.
You say I don't work hard anymore?
No, I'm just saying I work harder than you. I mean, not to say that that's a high bar either. This is getting confused. Why did it have to come out like that? See, I wasn't even trying to talk trash.
Because we have this, I think Jim's included this too, our friend Big Jim Nees. We have this kind of relationship now where we just like throw barbs at each other on text, on air. It doesn't matter. There's no limits on Twitter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I feel like I'm filling in the gap for our good friend GWSGWIO G Stelio, because it was his job to try to keep people on Earth. Since he's a family man now, which is a good thing, by the way, I feel like I have to fill that gap.
Well, I did talk to him last week, actually. He's doing really well. So
good.
It's good to hear that. We got a lot going on. Let's just say this real quick, and we'll get to the NFL in a second, but the theme of this podcast today has been this. College football has owned the headlines for the last 72 to 96 hours.
Yes.
It's not even close. Not right. The NBA, not the NFL. Even with baseball, free agencies, right now pretty, active. College football has been. I mean, we're not even talking about the on-field things. Like obviously, we'll get to Michigan beating Ohio State finally.
And championship games upcoming, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Also, we still have conference championship weekend coming up this coming weekend, and then Sunday, of course, the selection day. We'll know what the playoff is. So we have that still on the bend. But we have coaches on the mood, and not just any coaches from any program. We got big coaches from big programs going to other big / legacy programs. Let's start here first.
Yes.
One by one. Lincoln Riley, from Oklahoma to USC. How shocked?
Pretty shocked. Once I heard the terms and contracts and kind of ish they were paying for, it was less shocking. But listen, every time there's a coaching removal, lack of a better word, whether it be retirement or firing or ends of a contract or even in the rare case of the friendly divorce, i.e. Coach Ogeron with LSU, I suppose that still counts as a firing. But nonetheless,
right.
There are always the usual suspects. Oh, well, they could always hire this guy or this guy. Think back in recent history where that used to be Bill Cowher in the NFL before they figured out, hey, he's actually happy at CBS. Shut up. Now, that guy was, for a while, for the past 2 years, I feel like, was Lincoln Riley, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's hired Lincoln Riley. And everybody goes, why would Lincoln Riley leave? And then he did. And no one was ready for that, least of all me, okay? Now, I'll spoiler alert you with this. Not the most surprising maneuver of the past 24 to 48, but certainly something I wasn't prepared for. But listen, when you got somebody coming at you, throwing a contract allegedly worth approximately $10 million a year, while also allegedly purchasing the 2 houses you own in not Stillwater, the Norman. Anyways, in Oklahoma, we'll just say, okay, and paying upwards, allegedly, of $500,000 over what those two houses are worth, and then allegedly buying you a $6 million house in the LA area, while also giving unlimited, no, not just for recruiting, but unlimited use of the university's private jet for your family. Again, a little bit less of a mystery on what happened there, don't you think?
I'm not shocked that he was on the move. We've had rumors for the last couple of years about him going somewhere, even the NFL. We've heard like when the Dallas Cowboys had an opening, his name was in the little cycle of people that the Cowboys could hire at some point. Also with Mike McCarthy, of course. So him on the move isn't a shock. I guess so much.
Well,
so where?
If you took all those times where he was listed as a candidate seriously, which I didn't, maybe it wasn't. For me, it was, because I never took any of those rumors seriously. I didn't. There was no reason to.
And I get that. I get that. But look, forget the money he's getting paid, but the fact, the things you just mentioned, the private jet access to his family. Oh, by the way, I'm paying your mortgage. So right off the bat, you have your rich is rich, and you have really no more debt now because all your homes are paid for now. I mean, it's just, where do I sign up? I'm not even like playing a joke. Where do you sign up for that? I mean, anybody with a straight face would do that, make that move most likely.
Here's where it is, EJ. For all of us, all those out there like me, who has questioned the prestige and prominence and comfort of the job there at USC, it's about to get tested, right? And oh, by the way, let's not forget this is USC that recently had an academic scandal for celebrities allegedly, okay, well, no, that's actually found to be true, buying grades and stuff, or admission, or however you want to put it, right? Not grades, but rights to admission, okay? Yeah, this is a fantastic look on how things look out there, okay? Thanks. But I'm not, I'll put it this way. So all this money they've thrown at Lincoln Riley, if he does not produce, not only is that making him look less than smart and actually looking particularly greedy for taking the money and running, it also makes that program look stupid. So the clock is ticking and the pressure is on, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody wants to go out there, all the talking heads, the Colin Cowherds of the world wants to tell me that program will turn around and be relevant again in 2 years and competing for a playoff in 2 years. Okay, we about to find out,
Well, clearly they're desperate. It's been a little while since USC has been at the forefront of college football, talking points in terms of.
Is that the Pete Carroll era we're talking there?
We're talking almost 20 years now, dude. I mean, The Texas game was what? The Texas loss was what? 2005. So since then, what have they done? Really?
15, 16 sounds right. 20 seemed a bit much, but it's closer than I thought. Yeah.
They're desperate now. Remember 20 just happened, okay? So they're desperate, obviously, too. But I will say this much, though. If Lincoln Riley is as good as we all maybe think he is, I mean, I don't know how you feel about Lincoln Riley as a head coach. Oklahoma certainly has been one of the top tier teams in college football the last, 5, 6, 7 years under his watch. That the bar is not, I mean, it shouldn't take much to get over the hump to become one of those, a top tier team in the Pac-12, considering that the only really good to great team we've had is Oregon this year. And other than that, we have like some pretenders here and there. The Utah.
You mean mediocre to acceptable?
That's a great. The bar is set pretty low for Lincoln Riley. Everybody's saying like he's won the SEC, and maybe that's so. Maybe he's scared of the SEC. But I think it's more. I think we should lean more on the fact that I have a house being paid off, a house being paid in LA, and everything else.
Excuse me. Houses,
plural. Right. So I think that's a little more important than the SEC bullshit. I'll take being a quitter if I'm going to get my mortgages paid off and then some, and then a house bought for me also.
Yeah. They're paying him to be called scared, if you want to use that defense, which, I mean, I'm not worried about him going to the SEC or any of that. When somebody throws that much coin at you, of course you take it. And, oh, by the way, he has the added advantage that the Pac-12 doesn't play much defense like the Big 12 anyway. So
like, some things just stay the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and the thing is also for him too. So again, the bar is set low. USC's in a pretty mediocre conference. So it won't take much to get over the hump. Beat Oregon.
Yeah.
Beat Oregon. That's your job. Beat Oregon. Be better than Oregon. And that's it.
Yeah, don't have to worry about Nick Saban or now other coaches which may have moved into the conference. Am I right? Something tells me you're not talking about Billy Napier going from the Raging Cajuns to the Florida Gators, Chief.
Yeah, that news went under the rug a long time ago after the last fucking 4 days, man. No, the bigger, I think this is the bigger story, honestly, is Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Now, in my view, this is the big est story. Somehow or another, to me, this is bigger than Lincoln Riley for the main reason in that Brian Kelly, bigger in the sense it's more of a surprise because Brian Kelly was never on the short list that I was talking about earlier. Well, when somebody leaves a job in college, it's always Lincoln Riley, it's always Luke Fickell, right? Yeah. You never heard Brian Kelly, except maybe with the USC job. But come to find out, this dude rips out of town to head to LSU. I probably segued all of that for you, but you and I and everybody else knew what we were talking about. But the punchline is this, my good friend. He, when he left, didn't give a single solitary beep, it would seem like, too, right? And I'm not talking about, he only met with people for 11 minutes before he left. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, coaches, allegedly, an assistant coach is getting the text of Brian Kelly's departure as he's leaving the house, having just seen a Notre Dame recruit. Oops.
Yep.
The term blindsided is the key word here amongst those who were speaking of reaction to the departure of Brian Kelly. And add me to it. I'm not a member of the Notre Dame staff or even fanhood like our good friend Big Jim, but did not see this coming. No. And this could be incredibly problematic for the program and all the people that want him to go. Be careful what you wish for, biatches. You might be about to get it.
Well, it's also shocking, too, because it's not like he was there for like 2, 3, 4 years like Lane Kiffin and Bolts. He's been there 12 years. They've been really good on those 12 years. They've been a national champion contender these last couple of years, especially, too.
This year included, by the way.
This year included. And they could still technically get in.
Which is ridiculous.
Which, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just put a narrative stake here. This happening now is this shocking. And my thought was, okay, well, maybe they've been talking under the table for a little while now, because I mean the Orgeron parting of ways happened about a month ago now.
Sure.
But listen to these stories that have come out last like 12 hours. Maybe this wasn't as quick as we thought, and maybe there's more things there that we're not privy to that we don't know about between Brian Kelly and the school itself. That maybe it came to a head, and he's like, I'm out.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. We've had the conversation about on this and on the Huddle Up podcast, among other places where Brian Kelly's name has been in the crosshairs. Like, it's not been Jim Harbaugh bad. We'll get to that later. But it's been ridiculous. And let's take all of that aside for a minute.
Okay.
I don't even necessarily care about whatever other drama or whatever has taken place. Goodness gracious, I don't think it's possible to be a head coach at a program without the fans bitching about you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But if you want to approach the question, Ernest Christian, of what it was probably known at least amongst them for a while, here is the example I can draw for you, right? I cover the UCF Knights pretty closely for the 3pointconversion.com and now also for the Black and Gold Banneret.
Bing!
And I can tell you that back in 2017, right, the undefeated year, the national championship year based on the Colley Matrix. No, they didn't declare it. It's based on the Colley Matrix, which is a sanctioned entity by the NCAA for who the national champion is. Look in the record book if you don't believe me. However, as we are all there watching the conference championship for the American Athletic Conference take place, UCF versus Memphis at that particular time, it breaks that Scott Frost has departed for Nebraska.
Right.
I mention all of the above to say the deal was done, I think, at least a month-ish before while he was in Temple, he met with somebody up there to confirm the Nebraska job, and did so certainly at under a cloak of night, so to speak.
Yeah, I like that.
Obviously, Brian Kelly did the same, right? Like, I couldn't tell you when. I'm sure that story will come out, but this is not something that, like, they just called, hey, so yeah, we just warmed up. We just warmed up Coach O's desk, and it needs a new body to keep it warm. Can you sit in there? No, that's not how that worked.
Do you believe we got into a discussion on our little text thread, you and Jim, about the jobs and all that, what jobs are valuable, what jobs are attractive. Now, I've been saying, not me necessarily, but I've been hearing for a good while now, at least a decade, that LSU is a top 5 job in college football. I've been hearing for a long time, and I've heard many people, say that. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying whoever said it is wrong with saying that.
Right.
But it's something I've consistently heard for a very long time, that LSU is one of the best jobs in all of college football. Is this true? In your opinion, is this a true statement or not?
I don't see any downsides, right? Hell, even the food's good in Louisiana. You're sitting in there in Louisiana, the number 3 stopping ground, recruiting, allegedly, right? Mm-hmm. You're in a 10-hour drive, within a 10-hour drive to Florida, which is one of the top ones. You're an even shorter distance, I believe, to Texas, which is, a top. I think they themselves. I think it's Texas, Florida, Louisiana, California, or if that's wrong, it's some mix between those 4 states, right?
Right.
But hell, Coach O has ties to California himself, having been an active head coach up in that beast too. So, when you're Coach O pulling in, you're looking pretty good. If you're Brian Kelly and you have his contacts from Notre Dame, and you don't have to travel all over the country like you do if you're based out of South Bend, that's only an improvement. And that's not even getting into some of the other perks that he would enjoy, actually being a member of a conference, for example, and getting some of that money in endowment. You're not having to worry as much about academic standards.
That's the word there. That's what Notre Dame fans refuse to acknowledge. That there are certain standards that they uphold to, okay, that as far back as Lou Holt's saying, we need to lower the standards.
Yeah, well, and I'll never agree with an institution, whether it's Notre Dame or Vanderbilt, openly campaigning to lower their standards. If it happens that way, it happens that way. I'm not going to get into it, but I think that's part of Notre Dame's mystique, is that they're there to enrich human beings as well as, build great athletes, right?
Right. I'm just saying that's what it is. That's the landscape. You want to compete, you may have to make some adjustments.
And the way I said it last night with Big Jim on Huddle Up, bing, was that if you're Brian Kelly, what is the downside to making this move? Thank you. Yeah. You have a job that's at least commensurate with prestige. You may not have as much tradition, but I mean, just a few years ago, LS bleeping you literally dropped the statistically best offense in the history of college football. Okay.
Also tradition, whatever, because UM has tradition. The Miami Hurricanes have tradition. What the hell are they doing now?
Well, so Miami having tradition isn't the same as, the Gippa or whatever.
No, I get what I'm saying. They had but I mean, there was like a kind of an anomaly.
There's a difference between history and tradition. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Miami didn't have all that much history. They just couldn't retain it. Like, Miami was great for so many years.
No.
You were old. You weren't necessarily great all those times. I don't know Miami history super well, but I don't remember them being dominant like back when leather helmets were still a thing.
No. Basically, Miami history is basically this. 1984 to 1991.
His name is Jimmy Johnson. Can we just move on, please?
Jimmy Johnson, right. Jimmy Johnson, Derek Erickson. Boom. That stops a couple years ago.
Right. And of course, Eric Dennison.
Right. Dennis Erickson.
Thank you.
Right.
49er coach who was there for about 2 seconds because he was awful.
Then they're mediocre to bad for the next like 6-7 years. They come back in the early 2000s, have a good couple of years, and then that's it, done. That's their tradition. That's their history.
And now they can't get a coach because nobody wants to go there because they're realizing how good a job it isn't.
No, it's the school is also they don't prioritize football in the same way that other schools do.
Like speaking, you're talking about which college football jobs are the best. You notice that no one's even bringing up Miami's name right now. Yeah, they got their guy.
Manny Diaz.
No, he's. I believe they got the guy at SMU there now. Manny Diaz is not a thing anymore, I don't think.
No, Manny Diaz is the current coach right now.
Right. They hired somebody out of SMU, was my understanding. Anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't remember his name immediately, so I won't confirm to it. But yeah, the punchline is: if you're Brian Kelly, what do you actually lose here? Honestly, let's say he whiffs. I mean, he's completely awful. Like, let's say he completely leaves LSU in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
He is still the winningest coach in the history of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football program. You can die on that and be okay and have a legacy and be a damn coaching legend. That is the fact of the case. That name is never going away, Brian Kelly. And the only way Brian Kelly went away is if you somehow made him feel compelled to do so or somehow got outbid by LSU, which people keep telling me, well, Kyle, the money. It's hard for me to believe, and maybe it's simply because I don't know enough, Ernest Christian, that Notre Dame could be just completely outbid, right? Don't they still have that damn NBC money? That's a thing. And, say what you will about whether or not they belonged in the college football playoff the past 2 years, and we can make all the jokes we want to about the ACC, and I'm going to keep making them. Sorry, FSU fan. But again, I'm failing to see the downside for it.
By the way, it is Manny Diaz. That's right. What you got was you weren't totally wrong. What happened is that the SMU hired Miami's offensive coordinator, Rhett Lashley, as the coach.
Yeah, I had it backwards. Okay, but
so yeah, backwards.
I knew there was Miami and something with MSU or whatever. But yeah, I mean, okay, sure. Manny Diaz is the coach for now. How long is that going to last? I digress.
Right. It could last as long as another week. We'll see.
I mean,
they're trying to poach to get Mario Cristobal up in Oregon, but we'll see what happens there. Let's start on the field stuff real quick. Michigan finally did it. They finally did it. Finally did it. I was so happy for them, man. I was so well. You guys know Michigan's my number 2 team because I've always been a fan. Because Michigan is the reason I became Heat fan in the first place.
Michigan is the whole reason you're a Brady fan. It now totally makes sense.
No. It's because I'm Glenn Rice went to Michigan. National championship '89.
I mean, Glenn Rice is pretty great.
Right. I became Heat fan because Glenn Rice. But I always been a Michigan guy as a second team after Florida State. So I was so happy. I was happy for them. I was so happy for them on Saturday that I didn't give a shit that Florida State lost to Florida, even though I was still kind of pissed. But still, whatever.
I mean, you knew it was coming though.
Yeah, by now. So do we now change the narrative on Jim Harbaugh again? Not saying us, but the rest of the fucking media and these idiots that don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, there's at least one off season where they're not going to talk about him getting fired. Am I right?
We're there. We are there. We're there.
That's win number 1, man. Listen, if you can go an off season at your college football job and not be hot seated as a Power 5 program, that's a damn accomplishment, especially with fans the way they are this day and age. I mean,
no, it's a great win. Now I got to finish the job against in the Big Ten championship game, which they should do. I forgot who they're playing.
Iowa.
It is Iowa. Can't kill Iowa, can we?
Well, that's what happens when your AD is the chair of the committee.
Yeah, we did that. We had a discussion last week, didn't we? Yeah.
We had this discussion last month.
So you do expect them to take care of business else next week, right?
I mean, not doing so would be the most Michigan thing of all time. But yeah, I expect them to, right?
Yeah. You want to put all the eggs in the Ohio State basket. You still got football being played this week. Clinch the spot in the playoff. You know what I mean? So.
Well, even if let's say Michigan blows it, like That's no guarantee Ohio State ends up in there either, right?
No, they're done. Ohio State's done.
Well,
no, they're done. They need a lot of help at this point. I mean, because Oklahoma State is a better case of getting in before them.
And that's my point, right? If Oklahoma State beats Baylor as the number 8 team, that's some convincing stuff. And it would be the first time in a long time that we got a Big 12 candidate in the college football playoff that I felt good about.
And Notre Dame has been a case, I would say, of Ohio State at this point, too.
I'm not going to go that far. Again, who is Notre Dame beaten? Wisconsin? That's your best answer? Sorry, I can't go.
Are they now in the rankings? They're top 15, right? At least top 20?
Who?
Wisconsin.
I thought they were 15th last week. I could be wrong there.
But they are ranked. I'm not saying it's a great win, but
they're ranked entirely too high, and it's bullcrap. Yes.
Right.
The only thing worse than that is Wake Forest ever being within the top 20, let alone anywhere else that they ended up.
We've had this conversation before in the past, so.
And by the way, of the championship games taking place this weekend, I'm more interested and would be more compelled by what's going on in the Atlantic Sun Conference or the MAC than the damn ACC championship game. Penn and Boston College. Woo! In the words of Peter Griffin, who the hell cares?
Okay. Yep. All right, let's go to the NFL real quick. I'm gonna throw a stat for you real quick.
Actually, before you go to the NFL,
okay,
you were one of these that was lamenting the fact that Auburn did not win the Iron Bowl. Were you not?
No, I was pissed they lost. I like Auburn.
That's my point.
They're my third team.
And I kind of did. I mean, I dig Auburn in general. They're a good program. I respect them.
Cam Swag.
You did not want Auburn to win that football game. You don't know it yet.
Yeah, I heard that case in the show last night. You made a case on the show last night with Jim, and I actually agree with you now.
Shall I elaborate for those who haven't heard the Huddle Up podcast and have something wrong with their life?
Why was it good for Alabama? If you're a Notre Dame fan or which school? What is this?
It's just a fan of college football in general. So.
Okay, why is it?
Especially a Cincinnati fan, I might add.
Right. Why is it good Alabama won against Auburn last week, despite?
If Alabama had lost to Auburn, okay, then somehow or another, in some way, they beat Georgia in the conference championship. Not saying it's going to happen, but if that had happened, you're going to tell me that the committee would not only keep Georgia out, they wouldn't, right? I think of all the teams who are currently locked to get in the college football playoff, Georgia is it, period.
Oh, yeah.
They're not getting any lower than 3 in the top 4.
Even if they lose next week, it's still locked in.
That's my point. Right. If they lose, they'll be 3. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that if that happened, that Alabama wouldn't, as the SEC champion, be in the college football playoff?
They'll have that one win, the one biggest win of the year.
And it's happened before, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Right? Remember TCU back when, I forget what year it was, beat their opponent by 50. Now, granted, the Big 12 didn't have a conference championship back then, if memory serves. But they were still kept out the playoff by, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
Yeah. Yep.
No one is safe, and anybody placing faith in the community is a raging moron.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that Notre Dame does not have a conference championship is very problematic. Because the committee could decide, well, your best win, Cincinnati, was Notre Dame, and, well, they didn't play this week, and we didn't really get a chance to see the thing. But, hey, Oklahoma State whooped that booty. Here comes Michigan. They did pretty good. And Alabama played pretty close to the conference championship for the SEC, the actual best conference in college football, best money can buy.
Yeah, of course.
And there's only 4 spots, Cincinnati. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, NFL quick. I'm gonna touch on 2 things here. This one first. It shouldn't take
First of all, just say go Patriots and get it out of the way. I know you're happy about what happened against the Titans, and if you're not, I am, because the Titans are now officially in Janet Jackson status.
They are not my power this week. Let's put it that way. They're gone.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. Have you seen the Chiefs?
I will say they caught a break though, because Indy losing this weekend. They caught a break because Indy won this week. They'll only be a game behind in the standings with 6 weeks to go. and that could flip in the next couple weeks. I'm going to run you the stat real quick.
All right.
5-21, 92 yards, 2 picks, passer rating of 5.8.
What is Lamar Jackson on Sunday night? I'm guessing.
No. It's our boy Cam Swag, dude.
Oh.
Dolphins.
Yeah, listen. I'm the one that tried to warn you he was going in a situation where he is going to fail. I mean, remember that?
Yeah.
Said, what would I say? I'm glad he's back, but, right?
Same thing. I did not know how this would be beneficial. I mean, maybe energize the base a little bit, but beyond that, on the field,
And with CMC, Christian McCaffrey done for the year, so too are the Panthers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're fading now. Fading fast. Yeah, I guess the larger question is this, though. Is Cam done now? We've been saying it for like last year. Maybe it couldn't be done because the Patriots COVID thing, whatever. Now we see this now.
I think – I don't know what they're paying him. And if it's starter money, then the answer is yes, right? It's hard for me to believe that if Cam wants to be a backup somewhere, like what would be fantastic is when Russell Wilson leaves and he joins – the New York Giants, and you'll have to root against him as a Patriots fan. If Cam Swag...
We're going there, you asshole. We're going there.
I didn't even have them bring up... Listen, I didn't even bring up your brand new Christmas tree topper that's a blue star. I didn't even bring that up. And it has nothing to do, by the way, with your wife celebrating Hanukkah, because there's blue stars all up in that decoration, too, because it's festive. No, I'm talking about a Cowboys blue star, Mr. Super Bowl contender mother bleeper right there, who Big Jim is probably still angry at you about. But I digress.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot. It took you way too long to have that ready for me to go off on you like that, and I'm here for every stinking minute of it. You know what that might as well say? Victory to the student of the game.
Right. No, by the way, touching on, we'll get to a locks real quick. Touch on Russell Wilson, because I think this is over. They lose that.
Let me say the punchline real quick for this.
Go ahead.
Cam in New York backing up Russell Wilson in 2022 makes sense to me.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Similar styles. Yeah.
Can handle the big market.
Swags
in the big market.
I don't think Cam will do it. But look, I said again, I am all for my favorite player of all time being my favorite team of all time. I'm all for it.
Well, you already joined the Patriots. No, see, that failed.
No, the Giants. Shut up. The Giants. Carrington, Wilson.
Listen, get out from behind the mic and smile again so we all know why Kyle's joking, okay? There it is. Nailed it. Got it. We can keep going.
All right, let's do locks. It's the last topic here. Because the lock will take up a lot of what we need to talk about in the NFL. Which conference first, buddy?
We'll do AFC.
Okay.
We'll do NFC. Sorry, it's a lot more stable.
I feel like, because we were talking on the text with Jim, and I told him that the AFC is still a kerfuffle. The NFC feels a little more defined. He disagreed with me about that. I said, no.
Really? Of all the times you could use the F word, you're not going to call the AFC frisky? Are you serious?
It's always frisky. No, but the NFC at least feels somewhat defined. Like, you know who your top teams are.
The NFC, yes. Right.
There is already an established tier in the NFC.
I'll get behind that.
Okay, so right now, this thing will work again. I'm sorry about that. Right now, your leaders in the NFC are as follows. So right now, the NFC East leader, Dallas Cowboys. Your NFC North leader is the Green Bay Packers. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South, and the Arizona Cardinals at the NFC West. The wild cards right now, if the playoffs started today, are as follows. They are the LA Rams. They are the Niners right now, the 6th seed.
Damn straight, yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, the Washington football team at number 7.
I noticed you didn't say the Vikings, Ernest Christian.
Well, right now you have 4 teams right now with 5 and 6.
Well, one of them is the fraud cons. Get them out.
Cons. One of the Vikings also too,
and then one of them's also the Panthers, who are also done.
No. A half game behind that is who else is 5 wins? The 5 and 7 are the Eagles and the Panthers, and then 1 game behind are both the Giants and the Bears.
Okay, stop it.
I'm just telling you the clusterfuck right now in the NFC in the wild card picture. Now, like I said,
yeah, but those last two are cluster fluffers. Okay, let's.
Tier 1 we agree. Tier 1 in the NFC right now is Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals, and I'll even give you the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I'm not putting the Bucs in there right now. They should have lost that game to the Colts.
Oh!
Carson Wentz kept in it.
Okay.
That defense in the secondary looks awful, and your boy Tom Brady ain't looking too hot either.
My boy, Tommy. Yeah.
He did not look good against the Colts. Absolutely not.
Fournette did.
Fournette looked great. And shouts to my friend Travis Holmes, who said he was a bust when he was first drafted in Jacksonville. How's that going, Chief?
Fuck hell, shit. Anyway, we agree all 4 division leaders are locks to win it.
You can't say it definitively with the Cowboys mathematically because there's still time for them to plummet. But I don't even think they're that bad yet.
No, I'm comfortable saying all 4 teams are going to win the division. I'm comfortable saying that the Cardinals win the division now. There's now a gap between them.
The Cardinals are in the toughest division, but they have so many tiebreakers on their side. The conference and divisional records are dominated by them right now.
2 games ahead of the Rams right now, the win-loss column, and has a win over the Rams as well, too.
Yeah, and they're up to. Well, yeah, you're talking about the head-to-head. Even the division, the only other team to win more than – or the only team in the division right now to have more than one division win, Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. The only lock I'll give you, because I have 4 locks here in the NFC in terms of division. All 4 guys, Dallas will still figure it out no matter what. No, they'll win the East. There's no way the Eagles making that much ground. They're not good enough to make much ground. I'm still locking the Rams, even though they're struggling. They'll find a way to get to the playoffs as a wild
The
card.
Niners. Okay, so for the playoffs, you could be correct. The Niners could very well pass them.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that, but.
You said the playoffs. You're right.
Wild card. There's no scenario I see the Rams getting out of the wild card spot. There's no scenario that's going to play out. I see that happening.
I
okay.
Agree.
Okay. They'll get surpassed by the Niners at some point, but I don't see that them being out completely. So I guess you agree with that too as well. I'm not going to lock anybody right now beyond that, but I do feel good about the Niners.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to lock the Niners yet because it wouldn't be in true form as somebody who follows the Niners like to, locking them and then they start to fall apart. Not to mention with the Deebo Samuel injury, he's out 2 weeks. And they have another injury off the top of my head that I can't remember. Right. But Samuel is problematic, right? He's a central weapon to that offense simply because their receiver core depth at actually playing wide receiver is awful.
Yeah.
I'll
ask you this, because I'm sure you're not going to lock anybody else this, though. But of one spot, obviously we don't the Niners, one spot left, of all these bumbling teams here left in here, Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta, New Orleans, Philly, Carolina, and even New York, which team you feel good about getting that spot? Not saying lock them.
The team I feel best about of the group, because they all suck, and are only in here because the NFL added another playoff spot, which I was vehemently against.
We both were.
I'm not prepared to count the Vikings out.
Me too. I'm with you. I think Minnesota will be
because they still have the Lions and various other garbage teams in the remaining schedule.
And Minnesota on their best day looks like a playoff contender, and the worst day look like a freaking shit.
They're capable of strings of decent football. They're not capable of consistent strings of decent football.
They are getting healthier though. It's helping. Although Dalvin did get hurt on Sunday, but
Dalvin Cook, but they're getting healthier. No, that's like saying, well, I'm breathing oxygen, but my nose is chopped off of my face.
No, overall, Dalvin got hurt this week. He's fine for this week though, but he's the only one that got nicked up this past Sunday. All right, so let's go to the AFC real quick. The AFC, that's the bigger cluster flop, because if you actually give me a tier 1, I can't give you a tier 1 because I think you can make a case of at least 6-7 teams in this kerfuffle could be a tier 1 team. You can make a case for that.
No, because you've been wrong consistently throughout the year and taking giant diarrhea dumps on the Baltimore Ravens, and they have proved you wrong time in and time out, and you still had them at 9 when they are currently the best actual team in the AFC. Thank you very much, Ernest Christian. And I won't even get into your love affair with the Chiefs, who are again inferior to the Bengals, just like I said they were weeks ago. So no, I will not sign off on the lack of a tier 1. Now, is there less of a distance between tier 1 and 2? Absolutely. But the Ravens are tier 1. Now, you want me to put another team in there with them? I can't do it yet.
Okay. So right now, the AFC division leaders are as follows. The Ravens right now are leading the AFC North. The Patriots are the AFC East leaders right now. The Tennessee Titans are still the AFC South leaders, and the Kansas City Chiefs are the AFC West leaders. Okay? So your wild cards right now, the players for today, your wild cards are as follows. The Bengals, the Bills, and the Chargers in that order. Now, Chargers 65 as a 7 seed. But you got the other two teams in the AFC West also at 65, the Broncos and the Raiders. The Colts with a huge loss this weekend, now half a game behind 6-6. The Browns at 6. Steelers at 5-1, and don't look now with Miami Dolphins 5-7.
Stop it.
They won 4 in a row. They won 4 in a row.
They still have 2 games, I believe, to play against the New England Patriots. They're done.
No. I have 1 game.
Is it 1?
Yes, they beat them week 1.
Oh, no, excuse me. 1 game there. And I think they have the Bills at least once more, too. Maybe that's the team they're playing twice.
Done. Bills are done. They lost twice to the Bills already.
Then there's something else in their schedule I'm forgetting then that's not a gimme.
I think the Tennessee's the only one that have left at hard schedule. I made a case on this on this very podcast when they beat Baltimore in an ugly-ass game 3 weeks ago. I made the case that, not saying it's going to happen, but their schedule is soft a little bit now. They got 2 Jets games, a Giants game, and a Panthers game. So far, they're 3-0 under that current
against those juggernauts. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. The schedule works out for them right now. So they passed the Jets case. They passed the Panthers case. They should beat the Giants this weekend down here in South Florida.
I mean, they look pretty frisky against the Eagles, right?
They're trash. And then the Jets again. So I was saying, fucking guy, I was saying at that time when they were 3-7 that they could end up at 7-7, and who knows where the push look like at that point.
Right.
They're almost there. They're almost there.
I'm thinking why am I so?
They lost the Pats already. They played the Pats once already, so they've already exhausted most of the AFC East juggernauts.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you, but I thought their remaining schedule was a little harder than that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is.
They play the Jets. Okay, so here's it right now. Giants this week, right?
Yeah.
Bye week.
I mean, that's a tough out for them. Sorry.
Bye week. No, but what a spot got bye week though, right? What a spot.
Yeah. No, listen, all joking aside, that is legit AF.
The remaining 4 games in order: Jets, Saints, Titans,
and then Pats to finish it up. Yeah,
right.
That's where I screwed up. At one point, the Saints looked like a tough out.
Fuck out of here. They're done.
Correct.
The Jets stink. The Titans, who knows? They maybe still in free fall at that point.
With the Dolphins' defense and Xavier Howard being what he is at the corner spot, he's good for at least 1 interception of Ryan Tannehill, right?
And that Pats game, the Pats might have things wrapped up by week 18. We don't know that yet. So
that's very possible.
Right.
And I think where I might be getting confused, and I'll look it up to confirm it. The other thing that I think might have confused me is I think we have 2 Pats Bills games remaining. That could have been where I was screwed.
And that starts this week, I think.
Okay, so that's where I was mixed up.
Right.
Which, by the way, said no one ever to this point. What a compelling race between the Bills and the Pats.
Don't you love football, dude? Isn't that great?
Listen,
It's
chaos is the name but damn it. A lot of good times, a lot of drama here.
Okay. So let's lock some bitches up here real quick. I have no qualms right now saying that right now I can't lock Tennessee yet, man.
You have to lock them for the playoffs because that is the second worst division in the league. They're going to make the playoffs. They can basically hurl themselves. You're telling me they can't win 3 more games to get to the 11 that I predicted?
So your main schedule of the Tennessee Titans right now are as follows: Jaguars, they should win that game. Well, right now they're in a bye. So but
they win on the not the 19th, the following, the 12th. They host the Jags, and they're going to win that game at home.
Steelers.
That could go either way, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Niners
actually might win that game now.
Dolphins.
They should win against the Dolphins.
And then against the Texans. So could you find 3 wins in there?
Dolphins, Jags, Texans.
Okay. So we'll lock them up then. Let's lock the Titans is because not only that the Colts, I don't know if the Colts make up ground in time to do that. That loss. No,
and have you don't bother looking at the Colts schedule. I'll tell you the 2 games that prevent it from happening because they already have the tiebreak, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Bucks and the Cardinals still on the schedule, the Colts.
They have the Cardinals, the Raiders, Patriots, and Jaguars. They lost to the Bucs already.
Excuse me, the Patriots. Yeah, they lost to the Bucs this past week. Sorry.
Now they got to bye week 14, but they got 2 Texans games coming up. They got the Patriots, Cardinals, and Raiders. So
Patriots and Cardinals makes catching up impossible.
Anyway, so let me go here. Okay. Well, give me your locks quick. You do your locks first, and then I'll follow you after.
Okay. So I don't have the Baltimore Ravens nor the Cincinnati Bengals as locks to win their division, obviously, but they are locks to make the playoffs. That's going to happen.
Okay.
The Titans, despite their free fall, are a lock. Okay. The Chiefs, looking at their schedule now and basically seeing how overwhelmingly useless the rest of the division has somehow become, I have the Chargers as a lock. Excuse me, the Chiefs as a lock at the 4th seed. However, here are your remaining playoff participants, right? Second place for the AFC North, whoever that is. Technically speaking, I'm going to pick the Bengals, which I can't find my sheet, but I'm pretty sure I had them at least one game short, if not outright in the playoffs.
Right.
Where I'm going to be whiffing is I had the Raiders making the playoffs. Not going to happen. I just because of everything that happened with Gruden and all that, and now that the team technically in some weird way doesn't have a head coach, but they do. They have an acting coach, and just the way it's being run right now is just too chaotic, and there's too many question marks. I have no reason to believe that they will come back to any sort of winning ways. Which, if you're a Vegas fan, that sucks. Straight up. And because of that, and my complete and total lack of faith in the Broncos, by the way, I think by sheer accident, just because they have Justin Herbert, the Chargers hang on for a final spot.
You're not locking them, though.
What's that?
You're not locking them, though. You're not going to lock the Chargers.
I'm locking them in the playoffs, yes.
Are you really? Okay.
Because the rest of their division is bad, which leads me to my final team being the Colts. But not as the final seed. They're going to be 6th, right? So it's going to be Ravens. Do I think the Titans will hold on to be number 2 in? No, I don't. Yeah, I got the Ravens. Excuse me. I'm all wrong. Let me try that again. I got the Ravens. I got the Bills at 2. I don't think they're good. I'm not going to lock them at 2, but they're going to make the playoffs, right? 3 is the Titans. 4th is the Chefs. 5 is the second place of AFC North. 6 is second place of the AFC East, be it Bills or Pats.
Right.
And then the final team is the Chargers, simply because I don't think the Colts will climb back up, and they have those 2 tough games that we talked about.
Okay. So here's where I'm at right now. I'm
locking, by the way.
Okay, by the way. Okay, so all 4 teams that right now leaders are locks. They're going to get in the playoffs somehow, some way. Okay, Ravens get in the playoffs. Pats will get in the playoffs as either wild card or division winner. Titans will get in because of obviously they have enough wins stacked up early to withstand that. Although I have the Titans fall into the 4th seed, I think the Chiefs will pass them.
Of course.
Yeah. They only have him behind them. Don't have him behind.
Never, Homer.
Hey, Pat Mahomes, how you doing?
You're a Pat Mahomer. Got it.
You're damn right. You're damn fucking right, dude. Now, the interesting part of your argument is the wild card now. Because, as I said, I like the Bengals. I'm still want to see one more week. One more week. I think the Bills will get the Bills or Pats will get the 5 seed. Okay.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm not gonna lock the Bengals yet, though. But I feel good about them.
You know what, though? It's your show. You have every right to be incorrect.
Right. I know. The Bengals could get in. I won't lock them yet, though. But of the teams I feel good about going forward, who I trust, the 7th seed will be the Colts. Bills.
You just said that you trust Carson Wentz.
I trust
Joe Burrow.
Taylor.
Do you understand what just happened there?
I trust Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor. I don't trust the fucking Broncos or Raiders or Browns or the Steelers at this point now.
Did I say Teddy Bridgewater? No, I didn't. I said you trust Carson Wentz over Joe Burrow. Shall we elaborate a wee tiny bit at Joe Burrow's remaining schedule?
All I'm saying is that I'm saying my wild cards will be the Bengals, the AFC East second place per team, and the Colts.
Well, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the game that will decide whether.
I'm not gonna lock it though, but I'm saying that's how I feel right now. Who I feel about.
Because you're a raging pansy, and I'm correct. There's a difference.
Whiskey.
The game that's going to decide your fate, ironically involving the Cincinnati Bengals, will be when they face the Chiefs in Week 17.
Okay.
Because I think that game's gonna be pretty huge. They got the Ravens again. They're hosting them. They're scheduled coming out after smashing the Steelers. By the way, can we comment on that? Oh my God!
I just want to see one more week of the Bengals.
No, they got the Chargers next week,
and that'll be the week I decide. Yep, you're in. They win this week, they're in because the Chargers. I don't trust Chargers. They're done. They're done. Okay. I don't know. You're still on that fucking bandwagon. I don't know why. I don't trust them at all.
Hey. We've had the scenario where you left the Chargers for dead, and I picked them. And what happened, Ernest Christian?
Well, Rivers was the quarterback at the time. The guy you hate. Anyway.
I came around on Philip the Fraud, let's be honest. It was kind of like Andre Agassi. As he got older, I started to like him.
All right, Kyle, plug away.
Man, listen. That's what she said? Oh, sorry. Ernest Christian, always a good time here on the Football is Awesome podcast because, in fact, no matter how frisky you are, football is awesome. Find me on Twitter, Kyle Nash is doing the game as the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my work as well with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering UCF men's and women's basketball as well as football. Also covering some football and NFL as well, specifically the Jacksonville Jaguars for the three-point conversion. And also check out my work on the Huddle Up podcast as a special contributor with Big Jim. And you know, the guy that carries the weight when, you know, certain other people don't show up. That's not just you, EJ. Matt wasn't on either. Our resident AJ Hawk.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Why?
You don't carry weight. Fuck out of here, dude.
Really?
Don't be rude.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm joking. I've been getting frisky lately.
No, you haven't. And of course, check out my work with Demosthenes Euclid as we are recording our various holiday offerings. Of course, our Thanksgiving tribute surrounding our movie. The one time we've broken our 20-year rule was for this movie, Ernest Christian. Thank You for Smoking. Check it out. Good time all the way around there. And of course, my work with oldschool101.com, the Captain and Company Morning Show, A7BN Sports, my friend Captain Chris Hill.
All right. So the Game Report as always every week. Loving it.
Love it all the time. Love it more than McDonald's. Until next time, everybody. Class dismissed.
EJ Degenerate, week number 13? It's 13 now, right? Yeah.
I guess so. Lucky 13.
Yeah, and you're fucking down 2 weeks now with me, man. What's going on? Free fall ass.
Well, you give me too much time waiting for you, so I changed my picks.
God, sorry. Yeah, it's been a wacky day with fucking schedules and stuff. But we'll lock it in, I promise. That's wasting time. Thursday night game is pretty big, actually. Dallas Cowboys and New Orleans face the Saints. Cowboys, 4.5-point favorites. Over under 47.5. Cowboys. The day I declare them Super Bowl contenders, they lose 3 or 4 games. It's all my fault, man.
And who'd they beat when you declared them Super Bowl contenders? Some
They mold victory the Buccaneers. They beat your fucking Chargers. Your Chargers.
Yeah, who got robbed off of a touchdown on an illegal formation.
I know, because they fucked my parlay that week. Remember that? I told you?
I want you to know, you're talking about a fraud team. Fraud team.
The Cowboys.
Yes, the Cowboys.
It's not COVID, right? It's not the COVID?
Look, the best thing that can happen to the Cowboys is McCarthy not being there.
Right. Okay, so I'm picking Dallas win this week. I think we'll cover. New Orleans in free fall. They better get this shit right.
Yeah, I would love to take the Saints, but I don't have the guts this week. Not against the Cowboys offense.
Right. I'm with you. All right, next game here. Sunday games here. Tampa Buccaneers heading to Atlanta face the Falcons. The Buccaneers 11.5-point favorites. The over/under is 50.5. Don't look down, but the Falcons are actually in the wild card spot right now. Wild card race.
Yeah, and that ends this weekend when Tampa crushes them. So.
Now, I will take Atlanta on the points, though. We're at home.
Oh, I won't.
I'll
take Tampa to cover, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Look at the offense. First off, you look at who Atlanta has beaten. They have beaten teams with 0 on offense.
I don't know. The divisional game's a little weird, though. You know this. I'm not saying to win the game. I can see a 31-21. Let's look at Indian Tampa this week. Indiana had them dead rights.
You're right. I could see 31 to 10.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Okay. So really opposite ends right now. Well, this week. All right, next game here. We have the Arizona
Cardinals. Took the Cowboys.
No. I'm saying this week. Arizona Cardinals heading to Chicago face the Bears. The Cardinals are 8-point favorites off a bye. The over-under is 45 points. I don't know what's going on with Kyler Murray. I mean, he probably should start this week because they say he was on the up and up and had a bye week, all that. Well, I like the under here, honestly.
Yeah, unless it's like a massive blowout, which it could be because Chicago struggles to score points. I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover.
Fucking Matt Nagy's the rest of the week. We both had Detroit winning. I think we both had Detroit winning that game against Chicago last Thursday. Nagy was on the tarmac on Friday without a job.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
I know, and I told you there was a good chance he could win the game and still get fired. I was shocked he wasn't fired.
Yep, true. So you're taking the under also?
No, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals. Oh, wow. Okay. Next game here. Huge playoff implications here. LA Chargers heading to Cincinnati face the Bengals. The Bengals are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 50.5. I have lost all faith in the Chargers. I don't know why you stand on that. That's your second team, apparently. Your fucking wet dream.
My second team is Baltimore. I think you know that by now.
Oh, I mean long term. I'm talking this year.
Yeah.
I like Cincy. Cincy's played some good football, dude. Since that bye week, they need that bye. They come out fucking guns blazing. Give me Cincy to continue this fucking streak.
Oh, I agree. I'll take Cincy to cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Chargers, I just don't trust them. I mean, I love Herbert. Nothing's changed with Herbert. I just don't trust that team. That's all.
Well, we got no run game.
That too. That doesn't help, especially in December. All right, next game here we have the Minnesota Vikings heading to Detroit to face the Lions. The Vikings are 7-point favorites. The over-under is 47. Another divisional game. I like Detroit in the points here, actually. It's a lot of points. 7 points is a lot of points for,
Especially with Dalvin Cook going out. I mean, that is a massive blow to the offense. But I'm going to take the under in the game.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know if Minnesota will score a bunch of points without Dalvin Cook.
Right. So. I like that, actually. The under in that one. But I'll take Detroit. I think Detroit's going to keep this game close. Minnesota's probably still win the game. All right, the game should be attending, but I'm not going to attend because, why would I do it? The New York Giants heading to Miami to face the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 41.5. Dolphins on fire, dude. They're on a roll.
Schedule matters in football.
That's the point.
And that's why you're not going, because you know the Dolphins will beat your team, and you don't want to go to a game where the Dolphins beat your team.
Well, first off, I'm a Dolphins fan also too. Like, I root against the Dolphins once every 4 years. This week is one of those times. Just saying.
God, you make me feel like a terrible person because I root against so many teams.
I only root for the Dolphins and the Giants. That's it. Down team, and then team I root
and the Cowboys. You root for them all the time.
Stop, y'all! Come on. What is it, you guys? You and Kyle are saying, well, we have 14 teams. Mike's like, I got 37 teams now. Like, what are you talking about? I don't have 37 teams.
I believe it.
God, give me the under this game.
Yeah, I want to take the Dolphins to cover, but it could easily be, a 14-13 game.
Plus,
I'll take the under.
Plus, I don't mind the Giants tanking here, honestly, because I wanted them to get rid of everybody so get Russell Wilson next year. New York. Knock on wood. Let's go. All right. Next game here. The Philadelphia Eagles head to New York to face the Jets. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45 points. The Eagles, what the fuck was that on Sunday?
Jesus. Could you look more pathetic? And the Deuce had to drop 2 touchdown passes. 2.
Terrible.
He must have known I bet on the Eagles. Because, that's the only excuse I can come up with.
Yeah. I want to take Philly here to cover, but there's no way I can't. I can't do that. I'm taking the under this game.
I'm taking Philly to cover.
I guess the Jets is one. It's Houston. Does it change anything?
Well, I mean, to you it does, but
Zach Wilson's back, baby.
yeah, that should be another reason to take the Eagles to cover. Zach Wilson to throw a pick six.
That's a fair point, though. You're right. All right, next game here, we have the Indianapolis Colts heading to Houston to face the Texans. The Colts are 9.5-point favorites. The over-under is 46 points. Man, the Colts. The Titans got a huge break this week because the Colts held on against Tampa Bay. The game back in the division with 6 to go. And I would be much more confident in the Colts winning the division now. Now, a little bit on the fence on it. Although I do think the Colts can make playoffs, though. Give me Colts to bounce back in a big way. I think they're a good team. I think they're one of the better teams in the AFC.
Oh, likewise. And this week they're playing against one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, so they can lean on the run all day long.
Exactly.
So I'll take the Colts.
Yeah. All right, next game here, we have the Washington football team. That's your boys, your real team. Nice win last night, by the way.
Did you see how Ron Rivera tried to throw it away? All you had to do was kick a fucking field goal. The field goal.
You're such a dick. You sent me a text about that. I'm like, wait, I haven't watched the minute of the game yet. And you sent me a middle finger fucking emoji.
Yeah, could you imagine the payout on that had I been right? I mean, it was massive.
Yeah, I know.
From the 3-yard line with 2 minutes to go, there had to be 95% chance of them losing. So
right, the minute you send that to me, I fucking turn the game on.
And then they got screwed because they should have had the onside recovery.
By the way, I don't know if you took the standings this morning, but if the playoffs start today, you guys are in.
Oh, good. Maybe Ron Rivera will screw that game too, like he did last time.
Give me the over on this one, actually. 4.9 points. I can see a lot of scoring here. It's in Vegas. It's decent weather. I can see Heineken throwing the ball around a little bit.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Washington gives up a ton of points, and LA, I think 9 out of their last 11 games now have gone over in Vegas. So
right. All right, next game here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to L.A. to face the Rams. The Rams are 13-point favorites. The over-runner is 48 points. The Rams were in free fall, buddy. What the fuck's going on in L.A.?
I guess it's a little bit of Detroit Lions Stafford.
Yeah, what was the stat they said? 3 straight games, 3 pick sixes?
I don't know if it was 3. I know he did 2. But
okay.
Maybe it was 3.
Yeah. I think they'll bounce back in a big way here. Jags suck. They're at home. Rams at home. 13 points. I'll cover 13 points, I think.
Yeah, if there was a game that can get a season turned around, it's playing Jacksonville.
I'm at a point here where I think the Cardinals are going to win the division now. The Rams are going to just hold on.
With a 3-game lead and a match a head-to-head already,
well, 2.
They're willing to walk out and go, they're going to win the division.
Well, 2-game lead and then the head-to-head, so 3 games technically. But the directions here. All right, next one here. This should be a slobber knocker. The Baltimore Ravens heading to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. The Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 44 points. Ravens didn't look that great against Cleveland on Sunday night, but look, the win's a win, dude. Win's a win.
Every win this season has been ugly for the Ravens. Every single win. I can't think of a good win.
And yet, they're number 1 team in the AFC right now.
And they'll pull out a win this week too, but I'll take the under.
So will I. And by the way, I was Lamar as a front runner for MVP, like clear cut favorite. Now it's not so much clear cut anymore after this week.
It hasn't been clear cut in a couple weeks.
All
right, he's been struggling mightily for about the past month. And that was about the same time everyone got on the bandwagon of he could be the MVP over Kyle Murray.
Right. Well, what's helping him is that the team's doing well. Kyle Murray's been hurt last couple weeks. So he may still get it, but it's a little tighter than we thought. I think Jonathan Taylor might be the guy maybe in line for.
Please, he had one huge game. Stop.
All right, 3 more games to go here. We have the San Francisco 49ers heading to Seattle to face now, all of a sudden, my bottom 5 Seattle Seahawks. The Niners are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 46. Remember my love favorite of Seahawks the last 10 years?
Oh, yes. The GOAT. The greatest of all time.
Bottom
guy
five.
who actually is more talented than Aaron Rodgers.
Guess what? Bottom five now. First time probably since 2008. They look bad, dude. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Russ is done. He's done in Seattle, dude.
Well, I think it's obvious he's quit on the team.
I
Or
think,
quit on the season.
I think they've all quit, dude. I think they've all quit. I think they do a clean house. They're gonna try to trade his ass out of there. They're gonna probably fire Pete Carroll, and they're probably gonna end up firing John Schneider, the GM, as well. I mean, to be fair, didn't Chris say this? Chris Christmas said this on the pod last year that we saw this coming for about a year or two now. This day was coming where at some point they're going to pay for not having enough draft picks and this and that and patchwork and all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't remember last time they hit a home run on a draft pick.
Yeah. Give me the under here on this one though. I think divisional winning games make this a little bit weird.
I'll just take San Fran.
Oh, you believe them now? Weren't you one
I
that
don't believe in them, but that's how little respect I have for Seattle anymore.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. All right, two more games here. Huge game here. Denver Broncos heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites. The over-under is 47 points. Denver, quiet as kept, 6-5.
Yeah.
In the mix. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
I want to take Kansas City. I think they've turned their season around. But I'm just going to take the over. 10 points is just too many points for me.
You know what? I think this is the week the Chiefs turn around. Andy Reid off a bye week also too, especially. Come on, we know the history of that. I know. This is one of my 30 teams I love, the Kansas City Chiefs. 10 points. They're going to cover. I think they'll cover this game. They're at home. Fired up. Let's go. Pat Mahomes, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
You know, I never get your too many points. Here's a 6-5 team getting 10 points, too many points. You look at like San Fran, Seattle. Seattle's 3 and whatever, and you're like, well, maybe an under. At home, a home dog, and you're like, I don't know.
Hey, man. I mean, it is what it is. Pat Mahomes is quarterback, man. And I think a bye week, if this wasn't a bye week, I would have said, okay, maybe Denver plus 10. But Andy Reid off a bye week, they're going to buy now. The stars align here for them, honestly. I could be wrong, though. We'll see. And finally, probably the best Monday night game of the year. The New England Patriots and the Buffalo face the Bills. The Bills are 3-point favorites, which is supposed to pick them. Over under 43.5. I cannot wait for this game, dude. This is the game. I think if the Heat are playing next Monday, I might not watch the game just because of that.
Well, I mean, I'd watch the Jacksonville game over a Heat game, but that's me.
Stop it. I mean, it's not my fault you're an Orlando Magic fan. I'm sorry. Did I say it out loud? I did say it out loud.
I know we whoop your ass every time we play you.
Oh, shut the fuck up, bro. You haven't even won a title yet, bro. What are you talking about? How much times you got? Come on now. How many rings you got? Yeah.
Okay.
One right back?
I'm going to take New England here. And I think New England wins outright.
This is a statement, though, because if they win this on the road on Monday Night Football in that crowd, in that hostile crowd, that's guess what? We ain't fucking around. It ain't just about the AFC East. We are Super Bowl contenders. If that scenario happens, we just said in there, that's a statement there.
Well, you already have them as Super Bowl contenders, so.
Not there yet.
Oh, they're not there yet. They've beaten quality teams, but Dallas.
You're going to see a really big quality win. This is it here. This is it. Tennessee minus Derrick Henry is not. It's a good win, but it's not. Come on.
All right.
But you beat Buffalo, the team that may have gone to the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, I'm going to go the over though this one because I don't know. Did Buffalo beating New Orleans last week? Was that a sign of things to come going forward? They've figured things out. I don't know. The Pats are really good. How good? I mean, again, but the Pats win this game on the road on Monday Football. That's a fucking statement.
Oh, absolutely. And the one team I see who could actually screw it up is Buffalo. They have not shown up in games, whereas New England has shown up to every single game this year. They are always prepared.
Mm-hmm. Your bye weeks this week are the Panthers, the Browns, the Packers, and the Titans. Of the four, who needs it most right now?
I want to say the Panthers. They need to rethink their decision to bring in Cam Newton, but
Awful.
clearly it's Green Bay. Anytime you can give Aaron Rodgers to get off his injured toe. Here, look at the bottom of my foot. See, you can see it's broken. What a crock of
I'll be honest with you, dude. I think the Browns need it badly.
Browns are done.
They're done. There's nobody.
They're just done.
The Browns need this, though. I think the Browns need this. I would say the Titans, though, but no Derrick Henry doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the Browns need this badly. Because they're still in the mix. They're still in the wild card mix. So if they get a bye week here, they get some guys healthy, whatever, maybe Mayfield gets the week off and maybe feels a little better the week after that. Who knows? I don't know. Quick FSU minute. Season's over. No bowl.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That poetic justice in how that season ended for us. That's so poetic. So poetic.
Yeah, you enjoyed that.
What can you do? You're laughing at this shit. You can't you graze the football and that's it. That is our season in a nutshell.
It is. You're right about that, but I guess I'm just over it.
Yeah,
completely over it.
Me too. Don't embarrass yourself anymore. Be done. But at least they beat Miami though.
Yeah, 1 out of 2.
Yeah, better than 0-2. Shit.
True.
You know what I mean? Take one of them. I mean, you got to call for a good walk, buddy. So, anyway, Zach, good luck with your picks. You need a lot of help. You're not 2 weeks behind me. And of course, you're going to be due also next week. So next week we'll do our NBA 25, last 25. Next, you'll be busy, man. The next 2 weeks with me.
Yeah, I got like 45 players already written down. I'm trying to whittle it down.
I'm at 42 right now, so I already started to whittle it down.
Yeah, so. There's guys I'm like, okay, these guys were better individually, but they weren't winners. What do I do?
Yeah. Well, you have about 7 days to figure it out. At least the first players. So, all right, buddy, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
All right. Later.